Alright guys, this tutorial is for the Pyramid mini album. I'm making it in red, white, and blue because I want to have something small just to put a few pictures in from our July 4th family picnic. So I have posted a cut list for you on the walkthrough of the original album. Let me get my scoreboard out here real quick so I can show you what I've done so far just to save time. Your first strip is 6 by 12, and with the 12 on at the top, you're going to score at 5 7/8 and 6 1/8. Gives you just a small gusset so that when you put it together, you don't have one side that's thick and one side that's not. I mean, it's a really cute album as is, but I thought I just wanted it to be more balanced, because when you open it, it's got all these little pages in it, these flaps that take up space, and it makes this side thicker. So I did a walkthrough of this one, and you'll see that in the cut list will be posted with the walkthrough. My second one, the first one, all my base pages were brown, but this one I'm alternating red, white, and blue. Your second base is, excuse me, your second base is 5.5 by 11, and it is scored at 5 3/8 and 5 5/8. And each one will give you a little bit of a gusset. Third one is white, and it is 5 by 10, and you're going to score at 4 7/8 and 5 1/8. And all this is on your cutting guide, but I just thought I'd go through it with you just to make sure. The fourth piece I did in blue, and it is 4.5 by 9, and you're going to score at 4 3/8 and 4 5/8. Keep getting this frog in my throat. Number 5 I cut in white. This one is 4 by 8, and it's cut at, is it 4 by 8? Yeah, 4 by 8. Where's my, oh, I see it. And it's cut at 3 7/8 and 4 1/8. I couldn't see my score on there for a minute. Number 6 is 3.5 by 7, and it's scored at 3 3/8 and 3 5/8. And the very last one, which goes on the top, is white, and it's 3 by 6, and it's cut at scored at 2 7/8 and 3 1/8. And then just to round out the red, white, blue theme, I cut a small blue mat to go on the top piece, and I'll run a ribbon under this to close it. And then I have this little girl from a digital image holding a red, white, and blue pinwheel, and I'm going to put that on the top. So there is that. Now I've cut out all my flaps. I'm going to get rid of this cutting board. All my flaps are here, and it's not a whole lot, but it builds up pretty quick and puts some dimension inside your album. So on the first one, the 3 by 6, we're going to open it up, and you'll have a flap that is 3, or a piece of cardstock that's 3 by 6.5, and with the long edge at the top, you'll score it at 1/2 and 3, I think. Let me see if yes, 3. So we're gonna, and I have mitered the edges. We're gonna fold this under and burnish, and then we'll fold this one the opposite way and burnish. And then we have one small piece that is 3 by 3.5, also mitered, and we'll fold under the 1/2 inch flap. I wrote my sizes on here real light. They're going to be covered with paper anyway, but just so I don't have to refer to another sheet of paper constantly. And we're going to glue this right to this edge, and this one to this edge. And you'll want to dry fit them before you glue them down and make sure everything's going to match perfectly. If not, this is the time to trim it up. See, now this is going to actually be really close to that fold line. And it's going to do the same thing over here because of the gusset. I would say and it looks like I've got just a teensy of overhang. So let me trim it real quick, and I'm going to change that score line just so it doesn't hit that fold. I want to trim just a hair off of the width. Turn it around the right way for me. And I'm just going to take ever so slightly, just a tiny bit off of the edge. I'd rather be a little bit inside as to have all that overhang. I don't want any overhang at all. Put this down here. Now I'm going to move this score line over 1/8 of an inch. Where I've got it at the half, I'm going to move it over 1/8. Just so it doesn't hit that little gusset, the score line that's in the center there. That makes it buckle and it doesn't look pretty at all. So let's rescore this. And it might mean that I'll have to trim this off just a hair as well. So we'll remiter this. And I can trim just a little of the excess off so we don't need all that in there. Okay. Now let's dry fit it again. Oh, wait a minute. Let me put it right to the edge. I had the other one. I will have to trim that other edge out. You see, it's not going to hit now. It'll be fine. So all I need to do is trim this little feller off as well. Get a good crease here. And I'll just use my scissors to make it match. Just be sure you don't cut your fold. Okay, now we can glue this little guy down. Oops, my pin's stuck. I guess my glue got dry on me. Something happened. Let's use it without the tip, just a tiny bit. I don't want a whole bunch coming out of there. Smooth it out with my finger. Okay. My wipe. Wet wipe here. Okay. So this will attach right here to the inside, making our corners match as best we can. And this one's going to be just a little bit shy of the height, but that's okay. As long as it lays straight, like that. And then it'll fold back this way and it won't hit this one. And I may find that I have to do it with every one of them. Yeah. It's going to have just a hair cut off because it's going to hit that gusset. See, the first one I made didn't have the gusset. So now my pieces are going to be just a little bit too long since I've taken out space for that gusset. Okay. You don't want it hanging up in there. These little scraps out of there. Just a hair. Just take a tiny till you get it exactly like you want it. Because you sure don't want to take too much. You can't put it back, but you can always take more off like I'm having to do. Okay. There, that's perfect. And I can see the score line right here, so we're good to go. Put a little glue on here. Smooth it out with my fingers so I don't get a bunch of ooze. Okay. And we'll match up our corners. There's that. See a little glue seep in there. And just a tiny bit of overhang right here. And I'll trim it. Okay. So there's the first one, the 3x6. Opens this way and this way. Okay. And see, it doesn't hit the gussets. Okay, number 2 is a trifold. Well, yeah, it is. 1, 2, 3. It's got 3 picture spots on it. My blade has given me sometimes these little nubs on the edge, and I don't see it right now. But, if you have an emery board, you can run it along here, and that'll take those little nubbies off until you get a chance to change your blade. Okay, so this piece is 3.5 by 11, and it is scored at geez, I think I wrote it down wrong on my sheet. It's scored at 1/2, 4, and 7.5. 1/2, 4, and 7.5. I wrote it down wrong. One half, 4, and 7.5. That's right. Okay, then we mitered the corners. I'll have to change my directions that I typed out because I want to post them. I don't want to post them wrong. Then we're just going to accordion fold this. Like this. And this one is going to open to the bottom. It will attach right inside. And once again, I might have to trim it down because of this gusset. And I will. I'll have to trim it on my big trimmer though because I can't get it on the table. Let me get my pencil and put a little tick mark on here where I want to cut it. And I'll take it over to the big trimmer and cut it down a little bit. Put a little tick mark on here. Okay, let me trim this down. I'll be right back. It just won't fit on my table because my space is small. Okay, that should do it. Okay, now snip this edge again. Okay, and it's going to go on the inside like this. Yeah, and it won't hit. That'll be perfect. Okay, probably going to have to do that to each one now that I've got that gusset in there, and I wasn't even thinking about that when I cut them. I cut them the same size as I did the first album, but I was minus this 1/8 of an inch on each side. So let's put a little glue on this one. Wipe off my finger. Turn it upside down so I can make sure my corner's going to match. I want it to match the outside corner so we can stay away from that score line. Okay. Give it a good burnish. Then open it up. Get that glue off of there. Okay. There's number 2. So it's going to be cute, and it'll lay flatter this time. See with the inserts. There's my little girl. Okay, the blue one. Oops. No, we're white again. So we're on number 3, which is 1, 2, 3. No. Number 3 has 2 little fold outs like this. Real easy to do. So we'll put those on. And it just attaches to each side. And we shouldn't need to trim that one since they're not going all the way to the center. We should be good. So we'll score these. Or burnish them. They're already scored. Scored at a 1/2 inch on each side. This is a heavier weight cardstock. You don't want something too flimsy or you won't get a good burnish and you won't get a good gusset. Okay, this is the 4 by 2.5. Yeah, 4 by 2.5. And with the 2.5 at the top, they're scored at a 1/2, so that you've got your little flange over here. And we're just going to attach both of these. And if we get all these put together, I'll cut out all my papers and then come back and we'll put it all together and decorate it. I don't want to make you guys sit here and watch me cut all this paper because that takes forever, and sometimes I cut it wrong and then I have to print another piece of paper because I'm using a digital paper for this that I got from Knitwit Collections, and it's red, white, and blue collection. It's called 0704. I don't know where they got that name. I'm not getting my corner straight here. There we go. It's real pretty papers. I'll show you the paper as soon as we put this together, these little pieces. Of course, you can use whatever you want. Digital just comes in handy for me because I don't live close to anything. I'm in a very small town, and you have to drive forever to get anything. And if you have like a collection kit or something, and you mess up and you cut it wrong, which I suppose we all do, but I do my fair share of it. And then I have to go all the way back to town if I run out of paper, and it's not close. So digital works good for me. Although I like to have the physical papers on hand, but I can't always do it, so. Plus I'm on a limited budget, being semi-retired, and some of the collections are pretty darn expensive. Doesn't mean I don't like them, it's just I can't always afford them. And I try to find free shipping when I can, because that helps. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, the next one I did in blue, and this is the 4.5 by 9, I believe. Yep, 4.5 by 9. And it's 1, 2. We did that one. So the next one we're doing is this one. It has a fold out to the left and a fold out to the right. So that one won't be anything rough. Okay. I'm trying to sit down and do this. because my back gets to hurting if I stand up too long. I don't know what the problem is. Doctor can't find anything wrong with my back. I think it's just an old back, tell you the truth. Old person. I have old person syndrome. Darned if that didn't happen. I hate it. But I haven't figured out how to reverse it either. Ain't that the pits? Okay. Inside. The left side of the flap. 4.5 by 3 1/8. And with the... I got 4.5 and 3 1/8. What did I write down? I'll tell you. What is this one? 4.5 by 4 7/8. Now that's this one. 4.5 by 4 7/8 goes over here. Let me measure this one because I wrote 4.5 by 3 1/8, but on my paper I have 4.5 by 3 1/2. So let me see what it is. It's 3 1/2. Duh. This is 4.5 by 3 1/2, and it goes over here. I don't know why I wrote 3 1/8. It's that old person syndrome again coming in to kick me in the hiney, or in the brain. Okay, there goes that one. We're going to glue this little turkey down. To our corner. This is really a cute little album. There's that one. And this one, because I've got it cut going to, yeah, I'm going to have to trim my hair off of that. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Since this one was cut to go to the center, it's going to hit that gusset. So I'm going to trim off just a tiny. See if I got enough off. Yep, it won't hit it. So we can glue this one down. Leaves us 3 bases left. See how quick it goes? Okay. Get glue everywhere. I'm good at that. So here we go, matching up our corners. Oops. Corner. Oh goodness, it's not wanting to lay straight. Wait a minute, kids. I'm all discombobulated here. I have to hold it up close to me so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Alright, got it. Okay. Okay. So there's that and that. So there goes into here. See how it's building up? That's going to be so cute. Alright, next one is white. That's layer number 5. And it is 5 by 10. Yep. And the flaps on it are 5 by 5. And it is scored at a half. On any one side, it doesn't make any difference because they're all 5 by 5. And then we have 3.5 by 5, also scored at half. And that is this one. So it opens to the left, opens to the right, and then two little tiny flaps. These would be cute for journaling or whatever. Okay. So the big one goes on the left, and it's not going to hit, so we can glue that one right down. None of them should hit, which is a plus for me anyway. Alright, let me smooth it out so I don't get big puddles. So this one goes to the corner, into this corner, and I'll burnish it. The little one goes on the other side. This little thing will hold between 30 and 35 photos, which is probably more than we'll take. But I can always use some of the spots for journaling and tags and stuff like that. So if you don't have that many pictures, it doesn't mean you have to use that many pictures, you know what I'm saying? It'll just accommodate it if that's what you got. But I have a small family. We're a small family in a small town. Remember that song? Little bitty house and little bitty car, little bitty dog and little bitty yard. It was a country song. I just happened to think of that when I said little town and little family. It was a cute little song. I don't remember who sang it, but it was cute. Let's burnish that, make it lay straight. Okay, now these two little flaps. One will overlap the other. And you're probably thinking, why did she do that? I just thought it was kind of cute. So, if you put this one down to the bottom, like that, this one will overlap. So I'll show you what you do. It is really not rocket science. So you put this one down. Just inside that fold line on the gusset. If I can see it. Right there it is. Just inside. Make sure we get a good crease. And a little glue on this one. And line it up at the bottom and as close to the same score line as the first one, like that. And they just lay down like that. This goes over. Ta-dum, ta-dum. We don't need magnets in this either. Okay, there's that one. Two more to go, kids, two more. This next one's really easy. This is going to have a little pocket and a belly band. So the belly band, let me show you. Oops. The belly band is on the right hand side and the okay, so our belly band is going to go on the right hand side, and we're going to fold both of these under, little glue on both ends. And we'll just slide our paper underneath when we get it cut. And just eyeball it as close to center as you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Tell you not to be usually. Okay, and this is going to go down towards, oops, let me rescore just a hair. That's not quite perfect. Not quite long enough is what I meant to say. There you go. There we go. Got a little bit of a bubble in it, but I'll push it out and burnish it up here. There we go. And then we got a pocket for this side. And I have scored it on 3 sides. 2 short and 1 long, and it is 6.5 by 3. And then it is going to go along the edge after we burnish it and add some glue. So it's just your basic pocket. There's nothing hard about a pocket. Just make sure when you're cutting your miter for your corners that you don't cross over this score line, because if you do, then you're going to have a hole. And if you leave too much, you're going to have this dimple blob sticking out there. So you just take your time and you'll get it. No big deal. And there's that. My little fine tip kept clogging up on me, so I took it off. I've never had that happen before, but I'll take it and run it under some hot water and see what its issue is after I get done with this part. Okay, matching our corners for the pocket. Okay, there's that. You burnish it down on the inside. Okay, 1 section left. There's that one. Now we're on the last one. And I changed this up a little bit from the first one. This one has just 2 pieces instead of 2 great big ones. I have a 6 by a 6.5. And we're going to fold it under on the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm probably going to have to trim it, which I'm sure I am. Yeah, just a hair. This one should be okay because it's got a fold back on it. It is 6 by 8.5. And it is scored at, did I write it down? 6 by 8.5. Scored at 1/2 and 4.5. So this will glue to the edge, and then this will fold back. Okay, so let's trim this little feller off about 1/4 inch is all. Maybe not even that. Just a little bitty bit. About like that. See what we got here. Just a teeny more. Can't quite see the score line. I don't want to be over it. Just a fraction more. Like a 1/16 of an inch or something. Match the corners. Yep, now I can see the score line. And this one is going to go on this side. And it will be just fine. Okay, so let's glue these down. And then I'll cut out all my papers and we'll come back and we'll put this little turkey together. Now, on the first one that I did, I had, before I put each one of these sections together, I had put a designer paper down so that when you look down on it, it looks like a double mat. But I was afraid if I did that with this one, it was going to take away for the red, white, blue theme, and I wanted that to be obvious, so I didn't do that this time. I didn't do the designer paper. I just put the red, white, and blue solids. I just happened to have some the right colors left from when I worked with Stampin' Up. So I used the Night of Navy, the real red, and then this is a white cardstock I had for quite a long time from My Favorite Things. So I decided I'd make use of that. I've been trying to go through stuff that I've built up over the years and use it up before I spend a ton more money buying stuff, because geez, you can really unload some bucks on paper and tools and supplies and blah blah blah. You know how that goes. It happens. And that's not straight on the edge. Hold on. I didn't get it right. Didn't have it right up to the edge. Come on, turkey. Let's cooperate. And this one. There we go. Well, almost. Just a little bit closer. There. Yay! I don't want to do it if I can't do it right, you know what I'm saying? Put something together and spend all that money and then think, oh gosh, I don't like it. That'd be horrible. So, there's that one. That is layer number 7. Okay guys, we'll take a break. I'll cut out all my papers and I'll be back and we'll assemble it into an album, add our ribbon, and then you can go back and embellish it as you like. Alright, I'll see you soon. Okay, I said I'm going to show you these papers before I cut them up, but I almost started cutting them and I didn't show you, so let me do that real quick and then I'll get my little pieces cut out. These are the papers from 0704. Got the blue gingham, the blue and red stripe. I printed 2 of each one, so I'll have plenty. And it's best if you start cutting out the bigger ones first, and then you can use your smaller pieces that are left as you work up. Then this one is blue with white stars. What else have I got? Darker blue with white stars and light blue stars. This one, like the flag, I love that one. Red, white, and blue on a white background, or red and blue on a white background. And then different stripe. More stars and flags. It's just really pretty paper. Then the red stripe. And then these 2 are the USA print on white and on blue. It says Independence Day, July 4th, Stars and Stripes. Celebrate sparklers and fireworks. And then on the side it says family and friends. And then it's in blue. So that's what I'm going to use, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, bye. Okay guys, we are ready to put this together. I have my 7 layers, red, white, and blue. If you remember on the first one I showed you, each card is made out of brown, and then there's a piece of pattern paper on it. I didn't put the pattern paper on this one because I wanted it to really showcase the red, white, and blue. So what we're going to do to put this together is we're going to start with the largest portion, and that is the 6x6. Whoa, a little sticky there. Okay, so we're going to open it out flat. This is the front, and we're going to apply glue to the back of this one and center it as best we can. And I'm going to use the glue without the fine tip nozzle this time, so I get a little bit more out, so I make sure I've got excellent coverage without getting it all over my edges. I want it to stay where I put it, but I don't want it to seep out. So there's that, and we're going to center this as best I can. sometimes it's not really center. Okay, so then it looks pretty good. We'll open this one out and give it a good press. Does it look centered? Does it look square? I think it does. Although, wait a minute, let me raise it just a hair. I think maybe it can be just a little bit better. Yeah. There, I like that better. And we'll give her a good burnish, make sure it stays in place. Okay, so we can close up 7, and let's lay 5 out flat. And we're going to put this one down. So this is the back. Put some glue on here. And you have a small amount of wiggle time with the art glitter glue, not a lot. Okay, so this is let me see how it looks when it's open. No, not quite right. No. Maybe I better do it with it in the open position. Move it up just a hair. Okay, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? So let's now open this out so we can give it a good burnish. I don't want to burnish it while it's every layer's on top of each other. You know, that doesn't look perfectly. But it does when it's like this. And it looks fine. I don't want to burnish it like this because I don't want to crush the spines, the little gussets. Okay, so. And once we get all our pictures in there, then it's going to be flat across the top from right to left. Which right now it's a little bit higher on one side than the other, but that's because of all the extra papers. And let's put this one in the center. It looks pretty good. Let's open it out and give it a burnish. Actually, no, I better do it this way so I can get a good look at it, huh? I was going to leave it laying like that and put the next one on, but yeah, that might not work out to my best advantage. So this one's going to go center of the blue. Give it a little press. I know you can't see it at the moment, but you will in just a second. Okay, and then the red one, and one more after that. I think it's so cute. I just really like it because it's so different. You know, every once in a while it's just fun to make something different, kind of off the wall. It's a book, but it's not a book, you know? There's that one. No, it don't look quite right. There, that's better. Lay it down. I'll try to do it from this side a little bit where you can maybe see better. I'm just trying to stick this bone folder in there and get a good press on it as best I can. Okay, and then the last one, and I'm going to leave this little picture off for a second because I'm going to wrap some twine around it so that we have a tie closure. And then I'll give it probably 15-20 minutes to set up and make sure it's good and adhered down, and then I'll go back and embellish it. I'm going to try to do this one like that. I better open it out and give it a good press as best I can. Okay, now we have our 7 layers, and I am going to put this little girl in the center of this square. She's holding a little pinwheel with a red heart behind her. I thought she was just really cute. Okay, now I need my baker's twine. And I've just got some red, white, and blue that I had on hand, and I'm going to use that to tie it together. But you'll want to make sure whatever kind of tie you use, you don't press too hard because you don't want to mash these spines over here. Put some more this way. And it's only going to be glued underneath the little photograph on top. It won't be glued to the back side. And then I'm just going to tie this loosely. And I'm going to trim it so there's extra length so that once the photos are put in, there's still plenty of tie on there. And then we'll put her on there, and she'll kind of hold it in place. I want these to not be too layered so they don't make her stick up in the air. Oops. Okay, I'll have to hold it down a few minutes. Make sure it's going to stick. Didn't get any clothespins out this time. Okay, there's our little book. Then when you untie it, the first layer opens like this. And it has one this way. Layer 2 opens to the to the top. I thought I made it open to the bottom, but either way is okay. Number 3 has the 2 little flaps. The 4th layer also has 2 larger flaps. Number 5. Larger yet, with these 2 little flaps. Be cute for journaling spots, or just little miniature photos like you get in the photo booths, you know. Number 6 has a pocket and a belly band. And then number 7, I changed it from the first one so that it opens out like this. And then this opens this way. Give you really large photos. So there you go. That is the little pyramid album. I just think it's so cute. Let me straighten these out. And then we'll tie it up again at the side. And I'll go back and embellish it, and I'll do a final walkthrough with all the embellishments. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you make one, be sure you tag me and let me see your finished product. I love seeing what you guys make and hearing your comments as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.